Being a teacher is like no other job. It follows you wherever you go. It's something that you don't just do, but it's part of you.
Good morning. It is Saturday. I am on my way to see some of my students play in their county rec basketball games.
You have a life outside of school.
I don't feel like doing anything productive.
But so often that life merges with your work life and you never really leave it behind.
I'm getting ready to put on my oil, which is like a leave-in conditioner. We're getting ready to go to church.
So whether you're eating out with your spouse, whether you're at home doing chores, spending time with loved ones, you always carry your students.
Good morning and happy Valentine's Day.
In your mind and in your heart. Thinking about the next lesson, the next best way to reach them.
Plugging you in.
What did you say?
I said you're a weirdo.
What?
The Trauma-Informed Teacher is a channel all about work-life balance. But the truth is, there's really no balance. It's about bringing the thing that's important to the front at the moment. Because we know the truth that a real teacher will always have her students in the back of her mind.
It is sleeting and we're allowed to go home.
So the next time you see pictures of a teacher having a good time on their time off or enjoying their family time in the snow, remember, they're always working. It's the life of a teacher.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlotte. I am the Trauma-Informed Teacher. If you are new here, this is a channel all about teacher self-care, teaching, lifestyle, and teacher tips. So welcome. I'm so glad that you have tuned in tonight. So I'm really excited to bring this video to you. This is going to be a chatty Q&A video. I put out some feelers for questions and some of you messaged me back. Some of you responded to my poll and I'm going to answer those questions tonight. So this question is kind of like two rolled into one. So the first part is, what are some of the challenges you faced as a teacher and how do you overcome them? And then another person asked, how do you deal with extreme student behavior? And that is kind of like part of the same question to my mind. So some of the most challenging things about that situation is that when you have students like that, they need so much of your attention, but yet you also have to pay attention to all of these other students in the classroom. So I think that our adoption of the CKH program this year with Capturing Kids' Hearts is what that is. It really helps you think about building relationships with those students and some practical ways that you can do it. And just like spending time with them and getting to know them and giving them that little extra few seconds in the morning when they come in, checking to see how they're doing based on their visuals, cues that they're giving off, giving them that little extra help that they need to get moving if they're, you know, having a hard start day, those kinds of things. I think those are things that you can do to kind of head off some of the extreme behavior before it starts. But the thing about kids with mental health challenges is that they are not always predictable, and you can't always keep them from having those episodes. And so when we do have those episodes, I think just being able to stay calm and center yourself and like give the kids space, but also make sure that the other kids are okay in the classroom. If you can move the student to like a quiet location to calm down, you can give the student like ahead of the episode, like strategies for breathing and things like that, so that you can refer back to those when they're in the middle of that. Then those are all things that help deal with the extreme behavior. I think also like having a principal that really supports accountability for student behavior is really important. I think that no learning environment can be a positive learning environment without student accountability for their behavior and the things that they do that impact those around them. So even if a student has challenges and we know that they're coming from a background like that, we can give them extra love and extra support, but that doesn't mean that they don't get consequences for the things that they do when they're in the middle of an episode, especially things that are impacting other kids or impacting their teachers directly or the classroom learning environment. So I feel like being in a position where you're working as a close team with your principal and you have a plan in place that when these behaviors happen, you have like the therapist and school counselor and, parents and the principal, everybody kind of working together, a behavior intervention specialist, if you have one, where everyone knows what's going to happen when the student goes to that place. That if you're all on the same page and you're all working for the same goal, then those episodes can be handled so much better than if you're dealing with it on your own. So I would say, make sure that you're in a supportive place where you have structure for those things to happen and procedures that are followed. I know I have been in some situations where I was told when so-and-so does this, just call one of the admin team, but then they would do it and the admin team would not come and no one would be available to help me. And then I was on my own. That is not a good feeling. It's really important when you have students that have these issues to have enough people available that can handle the situation, that regardless of what might come up in a school day, there's always going to be someone to help you and that you never have to deal with that all by yourself. My teammate is amazing at diffusing student behavior. He's like very calm and he can talk students down when they're like that. And it's been so nice to see this year that sometimes when I'm not getting through to a student, then he's able to get through to them. And we can use each other's rooms as like places to send kids if they need a cool off or whatever. It's just really nice to have that support in a teammate, but also that support at the building level as well. What kind of content do you enjoy creating most? I love my lifestyle content, of course. I always like to show you guys what I'm doing, like the real me, what teaching life is like at school, at home, in between times. And I love showing you my hobbies. And so one of my favorite times of the year is coming up, my time when I start thinking about what plants I'm going to be planting in my garden. And this year is going to be so much fun. I have so many fun videos planned for you in the spring and summer because I get to create a brand new garden outside in my new home. So I'm really looking forward to that whole process. I've been outside kind of walking around, scoping out the sunlight, figuring out where my areas are going to be, my zones, and where I'm going to put my raised garden beds and where I'm going to put my seating area and all that. So really looking forward to that. I would say probably my gardening content is one of my most fun things, and I feel like I get quite a few views on it. So I think there's quite a large number of you who are at least somewhat interested in gardening content. So I want to continue doing that. But mainly I love to film like my real life. So whatever I'm doing, I like to film that because I like to be able to go back and look at my life at different points and see what I was doing, see the ages of my kids and my grandkids and kind of like what was happening and how things have changed over time and just reflect on that. However, I know that a lot of you really love my teaching tips content, and so I do intend to start bringing that back. It's been part of the thing I've been struggling with having just all these things going on this year, with all these changes, moving and settling into a new community, a new school, it has really impacted my ability to be able to bring you those like teacher tip videos. And I know that that's something that I want to get back to, because I feel like everyone that follows here really likes to have those teacher ideas. And it's something nice for them to just sort of like watch, get their own ideas, put their own spin on it, and try things in their classroom. So it's not lost on me that maybe my favorite type of content to film is not always your 100% favorite type of content to watch. What does your self-care routine look like? Okay, so something to know about me is that I am not a creature of routine. There are things that I like to do, but I don't tend to do all of them in the same order all the time, the same days of the week, or in exactly the same way, because I am not a creature of habit. I enjoy mixing it up and making my life interesting and doing different things. This is not always a good thing, because sometimes then I don't get things done. However, if I have an ideal day and I am doing everything that I think I should be doing, my self-care routine would look like getting a certain amount of work done at school, so that the next morning when I walk in, things are like where they're supposed to be. The date is written, I have my slides done for my journal in the morning, and I'm not rushed around. So basically whatever I need to do for that next day, that makes it so that I can just walk in the door and feel like I'm ready if I didn't do anything else. That's part of my self-care routine that starts at school before I leave, because if I am stressed out from having to rush around, then that's not good self-care. But I also don't want to stay at school super late, because I want to have the opportunity to come home. And when I get home, I want to be able to relax, maybe take like a 20 to 30 minute cat nap, which I totally can fall asleep and wake up in like 20 to 30 minutes and feel energized for like 3 hours. So cat naps are a thing for me. I know not everybody can do that, but they work for me. That will give me a boost of energy for the evening, because typically at the end of the school day, I am very tired and not ready to come home and just make dinner right away. So if dinner's not like a crock pot meal or something like that I've already started, then I will, after I get up, make some dinner leisurely. I enjoy cooking when I'm not in a hurry. We'll eat dinner, clear the dishes, and then I want to do something that's just like fun. So for me, that could be watching a certain show. Like right now, Joe and I are really into this one called Younger, which is all about this girl who, she's in her 40s and she's a divorced mom, and she pretends to be like 20 something to land this job in book publishing. And that's because no one will take her as a 40-year-old when she interviews. So then it's like how she manages to maintain this like other self, and how the people that are closest to her end up finding out. And so it's this whole like series of comedic events where, you know, one of the things about being in publishing is being young and trendy and all of this, and she's like pretending, because she's not really that young and trendy person, even though for her age she's very trendy. So I really like watching that show. Sometimes just relaxing and reading a book is something that I enjoy doing. I will make plans for my garden. So after I've done that, then I look at what I'm going to need for the next day, and making sure that I have a plan for dinner, and making sure that I have an outfit for the next day that's clean, that's like hung up and ready to go, and I know where everything's at, because I get stressed out in the morning if I have to look for things. I'm not a morning person, and I don't think very well in the morning. So setting things out in the evening is helpful. I can't say that I have like a skincare routine yet, but I will tell you that I recently signed up for Pros, and I signed up to get my hair products because I have problems in the winter with really dry, frizzy hair and combination hair where I'll have like oily spots as well as frizz on the ends. and they give you a free trial to your skincare. And so I haven't started using it yet, but it's something that I would like to get into the habit of doing in the evenings, because I like to take like a bath in the evenings, do any kind of like, actual physical self-care that I want to do at night before bed, because like a bath relaxes me so much and helps me sleep so much better. And then I have to remind myself to take my medicine, because I have like meds that I take for fibromyalgia and arthritis in the evening, and I will just sleep way better if I do that. Getting into bed for me looks like, once I have everything set up for the next day, then I would lay around and watch some videos in the evening or read in my bed before falling asleep. And I try to fall asleep at like around 10 or 10:30 at the latest. But if I have a big day, I might go to sleep at 9 so that I can have extra rest the night before. So that's my evening self-care. On the weekends, I'll do the extra things, like, if I need to get my nails, like do my nails, or, the big shower that's like the everything shower, all of that. I'll do that on the weekends. And of course, self-care is a little different in the summertime, because then you have like daily things that you need to worry about with your skin and things like that. But that's kind of like, that's me. Like a little bit of work, a little bit of preparation, planning, and then something relaxing and fun, and getting ready and set up for the next day so that my morning is smooth is all important to me. All right, now we're getting to the juicy ones. This question is, how is it going with your new school, and do you plan to teach next year? So it's going really well with my new school. I love my school because I love the way that everyone on my team really supports each other and works together and is kind to each other. I have amazing teammates that are all wonderful teachers in their own like way, and we all respect each other's differences and work really well together. I feel like for the most part, if there's any conflict, that we handle it pretty well with each other, going directly to the person. This has been a little bit of a stressful year on my team, for my team as a whole, because there were some low scores last year and the year before that. And so because of that trend down, then of course there's a big push this year to really get those scores back up. And I came in the middle of that. And that can be a little bit like frustrating when you had, although I had a stressful year in the classroom last year, I felt like my kids made really good gains and I was successful in growing them. And maybe part of that was that they had such a long way to go. I don't know. But I felt like the growth was good last year, at least what I know from being in the classroom. I never got to see my final reports, because when you move from one district to another district, then you don't get all of the same reports. But I did see like my school-wide data, and since I was the 4th grade teacher for the school, then that pretty much helps me know what my data was. But I didn't get to see like, specifics that I would be seeing if I was still there and able to look at all of that. But I think coming in and not being part of that data, but yet having the same initiatives that I'm required to like work with has been a little bit difficult. And I knew that moving schools to pursue a better placement for my principal internship was going to have some challenges with it, because trying to be a new person with many years of experience is hard. And I've experienced it multiple times. So I had to switch rooms because I need to charge, and I have a better like charging situation in here. Anyway, it's not my first go around with switching schools, and so I did kind of know what I was, potentially walking into. But once you get into the situation and you like assess, okay, like here's what I need to do in this setting, to make people that are in charge of me happy so that their people can be happy with them over them, and you kind of like match that up to like the way that you're teaching, then you have to figure out where the middle ground is. And I feel like I'm still trying to figure out how to be me in the initiatives that we are doing right now to meet the goals that we need to meet at our school. But all that being said, I'm way happier than I was last year. It was a really good decision. It was the right decision for me. This school has the same values. My teammates are amazing. I have a lot of support. My direct teammate is awesome. He's really good with the kids. He's very patient and kind and understanding of my different kind of scattered way that I do things because I think so creatively. And he's very organized, but also patient. And so that makes a really good team between the two of us. And we agree on a lot of things. I don't typically have an issue with anything that he thinks that we need to do, and vice versa. We seem to click pretty well. So I'm happy with my placement. I'm happy with my teammate. And I do not plan on making any moves for this next year. That being said, if pie would fall out of the sky in the district that I'm working in, and someone would come to me from the central office and say, hey, we would like to add an instructional coach position next year. Would you be interested in applying for this? I would say yes. If they would say, hey, we want to add an MTSS coordinator for next year, would you be interested in applying for this? I would say yes, because either one of those things would be a really good kind of match for my background and help me to step out of the classroom. And I think that where I'm at, what I've observed is that this school building, my leadership, whatever they do it well. And so I may not agree with everything that they do, but they always have a plan. Nothing is ambiguous. Everything is this is the way we're going to do it. A, B, C, D, this is your job. This is my job. This is how it's going to run. Do you have any questions? It's very organized. It's very thought out. It's meticulous, and people follow through. And I appreciate that so much. So with that being said, some of the problems that I had before when I was an instructional coach, I think I would not have those problems here, because I believe that the direction about what I would be doing would be very clear to not only myself, but also to the people around me, how I would need to be used, or as an MTSS person or whatever. And I think I'm in the right district, and I think I'm working with the right people. And so I'm just willing to kind of stay where I'm at and continue teaching what I'm teaching, as long as I feel there's not an upward mobility opportunity in my district. We're in the community that we want to live in long term. We're working on, eventually buying our retirement home. So that's going to take some time. And I feel I just want to stay put and stay steady and keep doing what I'm doing until those opportunities open up for me. And yeah, so that's my plan for next year. I do not plan on going anywhere. I plan to teach third grade. I do not want to teach any other grades unless they were to put me in first or second grade, which would be a building move. So I don't know if I really want to do that, but it would be in the same district. I would be willing to do that. Even kindergarten, but probably first or second I would prefer. But I definitely do not want to move grade levels if I don't have to, because I think third grade is my sweet spot in the elementary, because I feel they can do things, but yet at the same time, I have the skills that lower level students need, because I know how to teach reading, because I have been a kindergarten, first and second grade teacher before. So I know how to remediate those skills and give the explicit instruction that they need to catch up. So I think I'm right where I should be right now, and everything's not perfect. There's no perfect job, because jobs are, controlled by people, and people are not perfect. And sometimes when you try to explain to someone how you want to do something, they think in such a different way than you do, that even when you explain it to them, it's like they don't get it. Even when you show it to them, they don't get it. So I think I'm probably in the best position that I can be in right now. And until something else opens up, then that's where I'll stay. And one more question. The last question is, do you have any advice for teachers who are struggling with burnout? Yes. Sign up for Jen Manley's course that is coming up for Sprint to Summer. And I would highly recommend that you follow Jen Manley, the Strategic Classroom. I could give you some tips of my own, but this is her area. She is so good with helping teachers avoid burnout. She has so many strategies and ideas. And I will tell you that if you join any of her workshops, whatever you pay is going to be like a fraction of the value that you will get out of the course. It helped me so much. And I have been using her tips and her strategies all year long so that I could manage the additional workload that I've had for my principal internship. And it's really, really helped me. She's awesome. So I'll put the link down below. Go follow her. That is what you need to do if you're concerned about burnout. All right, well, this has been fun. I hope that you have enjoyed catching up with me. And I'm sorry it's been so long. And I will try to make sure that it's not so long the next video. But thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. I hope you're having a great evening, and wherever you are, don't forget to work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen. See you next time.